Now, Eyewitness News is everywhere.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Barbara Rodgers. Our top story tonight, taking a look at the potential for a fail-safe catastrophe. Tonight's CBS movie took place during the Cold War, but since then, 7 more nations have acquired nuclear weapons, and that's been generating plenty of debate tonight at Stanford and universities across the nation. And that's where Sharon Chen joins us live tonight. Sharon.
Well, there was a lot of discussion here about the movie at Stanford University, and it was also a chilling reminder that the nuclear threat is real. About 50 people at Stanford University watched Fail-Safe, CBS's live remake of the 1964 thriller. A computer glitch triggers an accidental attack by U.S. nuclear bombers on Russia, annihilating Moscow, then New York City. Before the movie, a panel discussion pointed out the real danger of life-imitating art.
A single Soviet submarine discharging its weapons on 8 American cities. In San Francisco Bay Area, you'd have 700,000 people dead.
The panel's experts say even though the Cold War is past, the cold facts remain. They say since the U.S. and Russia developed nuclear weapons, there have been 1,000 false alarms when one superpower mistakenly thought the other had attacked. And there have been at least 3 close calls. Former Senator Alan Cranston says Russia's troubled economy increases the chances of a nuclear accident in the U.S.
The deterioration as a result of command and control. Soldiers and scientists are not paid. Their discipline is low. Their attention span may be greatly decreased. Their morale is down. And their equipment is wearing out. So there's a graver chance now than during the Cold War of an accidental war between the 2 countries.
And some students learned they could be potential targets in Silicon Valley, the heart of high tech.
When they said the numbers, that quite surprised me about how many are targeted at certain areas.
And the discussion was timely. The Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty is up for its 30-year review this month. I'm Sharon Chin reporting live on the peninsula.
Was there any suggestion about what should be done about any of this?
A lot of the people here were from different groups that actually supported eliminating nuclear weapons altogether. But of course, there's a lot of debate about that as well.
Okay, thanks a lot, Sharon. Well, at this hour, rescue crews are searching for a missing boater in the San Francisco Bay near Newark. Fire officials say 2 men were coming in from a day of fishing when they accidentally overturned their 15-foot boat. One man was able to swim to shore, but the other man, a 50-year-old, has not been found. 2 helicopters and at least 1 boat are being used in the search. New questions are being raised tonight about the safety of the marine aircraft that crashed in Arizona last night. All 19 people on board the Osprey aircraft were killed in the fiery crash, which took place during a night training mission. It's the 3rd major crash for an Osprey since 1991 and the most deadly. The aircraft, which is slated to replace the Marine's current transport chopper, has the range and speed of a turboprop plane, but can take off and land like a helicopter. 2 young men are in critical condition tonight after what police say is the latest explosion of gang violence in San Francisco. The 2 were shot early this morning at a large party in the city's Ingleside district. Police say the injured are rival gang members who were fighting over rap music.
And it's all relates to rap music. And you have a group, Big Block, North Ridge Harbor, who has their production, and then you have a group, West Mob, who have their production. And they tend to feud with each other in regards to the music, who's putting out the best music, who's putting out the music first, who's making more money.
A 3rd teen was also grazed on the head with a bullet, but he is okay. However, police say that attack sparked a drive-by shooting 2 hours later where another young man was shot in the arm. Gang shootings have skyrocketed in San Francisco lately. Police say there have been 20 shootings in the past 2 months. The bicyclist shot dead by police on the Bay Bridge last week has been identified. Oakland police say he is Thomas Allen Freeman, Jr., a 40-year-old homeless man. Freeman was killed last Thursday after allegedly getting into a confrontation with officers who told him bicycles were not permitted on the bridge. Police say Freeman spent much of his time on the streets of Oakland, San Leandro, Hayward, Santa Clara, and San Jose. The annual migration of whales up the coast from Mexico to Alaska is resulting in more than its usual share of fatalities. In the past 2 days, 4 gray whales have washed up on Bay Area beaches. As John Lobertini reports, experts say it may be something to worry about.
This is the most recent discovery, a female gray whale just north of Coyote Point near Burlingame.
The gray whales are migrating past our shore right now.
During a whale watching trip, members of the Oceanic Society say they saw nothing unusual in the waters off Half Moon Bay, but researchers admit there's a serious problem.
One possibility is that the gray whale population is so high that we're now seeing it sort of stabilize, and that means a lot of the weaker animals will die off. There's not enough food resources.
Serious because the gray found dead Saturday night near Land's End in San Francisco is part of a disturbing trend. Last year, 273 gray whales died and washed ashore during the spring and fall migrations. In previous years, though, the trip between Alaska and Mexico produced only about 100 deaths.
They were spouting, reaching, and tail fluking and all that.
Whale watching is a thrill. This one was spotted in the bay just this week. But earlier this century, the gray whale was almost extinct.
That's really why we wanted the kids to be able to go out and see the whales in the wild while there still is a lot.
Today, the population is thriving. The gray whales discovered dead near Los Angeles and Oregon this week are part of an estimated 26,000. Researchers admit the die-off could be an act of nature.
It may very well mean that they're stabilizing with their environment, they're coming up, and they're getting more in balance, if you will, with the resources. So it's not necessarily a bad thing that's going on.
Researchers are likely taking tissue samples from carcasses like this one in an effort to find out what might have killed the whales and if they might be related. The environment is another possibility, but researchers also say it's unlikely whatever is killing these whales will affect the population here on the West Coast. In Burlingame, John Lobertini, Channel 5, Eyewitness News.
It may finally be time to breathe a sigh of relief where gas prices are concerned. The latest industry survey shows the average price for a gallon of gas dipped nearly 2.5 cents in the past 2 weeks. That's the biggest drop since the winter of 1998. According to the Lundberg survey, the average national price for all grades of gas was about $1.57 on Friday. The Energy Department says that average should drop to $1.46 by the summer. Well, the high-tech world is still red hot for job hunters. An industry survey finds American companies expect to create more than 1.5 million information technology jobs this year. About a third of the openings will be for technical support workers. The Midwest is expected to win more new information technology jobs than any other region, with 35%, and it's a job seekers market. Companies estimate they'll have trouble filling more than half of the available jobs. Still ahead on Eyewitness News, a North Bay bishop issues an apology after being accused of sexual and financial misconduct. And will Elian Gonzalez finally be reunited with his father? We'll be right back.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Sleep Train Mattress Centers, your ticket to a better night's sleep.
Wherever you are, get Bay Area news, weather, and traffic anytime you want. Just click on the PIX page at kpix.com.
The room is beautiful. The difference is Anderson. Like this elegant Anderson glider or this handsome Frenchwood hinged patio door. Make a difference in the look and livability of your home. Visit Dolan's, your Anderson Excellence dealer, offering over 3,400 size and style combinations with new hardware options and pine, maple, or oak veneers. Building or remodeling, there's an energy-efficient Anderson patio door that's right for you and your budget. See for yourself at Dolan's Lumber, Windows, and Doors in Concord, Burlingame, Pinole, and Benicia.
What's the difference between these two stylish shoes made from real leather? Find out. We flexed theirs, we flexed ours. We tugged theirs, we tugged ours. We froze theirs, we froze ours. We pulled theirs, we pulled ours.
So, what's the big difference between their shoe and our shoe?
Theirs will cost you over twice as much as ours.
Put your family in our shoes. Real leather from Tom McCann. Only at Big Kmart.
This is a rental car. It's just a car, not even your car. So what's the big difference when you're choosing? Price. You search, get the rates, and what you're really looking for is a great car at a low rate. That's thrifty. Just the things you'd expect from a worldwide car rental company. Things like great cars, great service, airline miles, Blue Chip Express program, the works. And at a low rate. So the next time you need a rental car, call Thrifty. Just what you want, just Thrifty.
It's the early days of the great war for talent. and you and I are in the crosshairs of the productivity sniper's rifle. 90% of white-collar jobs will be destroyed in the next 10 years. I love you guys, but if you are not distinct, no matter how hard you work, you won't stand out, and that means you won't get paid much either.
The former head of the Santa Rosa Diocese apologized to parishioners today. In a letter read at church masses, Bishop Patrick Zeman said he deeply regretted both his financial mismanagement of diocese funds and his failure to abide by his sacred vows. Zeman resigned last year after priest George Salas from Ukiah filed a lawsuit claiming Zeman coerced him into having sex. In the letter, Zeman said, quote, "I acknowledge with deep regret my responsibility for the current state of affairs about which you are justly angry." Well, will this be the last week for Elian Gonzalez to live in Miami? The U.S. Attorney General says she is determined to reunite Elian with his father this week. And as Lee Cowan reports, psychological tests to determine just how the handover should occur are scheduled for tomorrow.
The fishermen who saved Elian Gonzalez's life are now trying to help save a family torn apart by the boy's tragic ordeal. On Sunday, the two men met with Elian's father, Juan Miguel Gonzalez, hoping that he would agree to sit down and talk to his Miami relatives who've cared for Elian since his rescue at sea last November.
I really would like to have come out of that meeting that he would have agreed to go and meet with the family in a neutral place.
One of Elian's rescuers said he felt what others had sensed, that Gonzalez was not being allowed to speak freely.
I don't feel that this man is being manipulated totally, but he is being controlled how conversations will and will not take place.
But a lawyer representing Juan Gonzalez says his client makes his own decisions.
His decision is his alone. He wants to be with his son, and he should have the right to decide where he raises his son.
As Gonzalez waits for word on Elian at the home of a Cuban diplomat just outside Washington, Attorney General Janet Reno is moving ahead with plans for a reunion.
We're going to try to resolve this and restore the child to his father in the most constructive way possible.
Justice officials have asked the Miami family to meet with 3 psychiatric experts on Monday in an effort to ease the transfer of custody. But the relatives have their misgivings.
They plan on actually reviewing the case without ever meeting with Elian. And that's where the frustration lies with the family. His best interests are not being taken into consideration at all.
Meanwhile, protesters in Miami's Little Havana continue to surround Elian's house, praying for the boy to stay here, but realizing this time around, their prayers may not be answered. Lee Cowan, CBS News, Washington.
Elian's father also met tonight with Reverend Jesse Jackson, and Jackson believes there is some hope to be found in the pain of this situation. The civil rights activist made his comments after attending a reception at the Cuban Interest section in Washington. Juan Gonzalez was also there and spoke with Jackson, who says the fight over Elian offers an opportunity to improve relations with Cuba.
Maybe use even this moment, the turning of this child from a kind of war trophy to an opportunity to build bridges between the U.S. and Cuba, Cuban-American relations.
Jackson says if the U.S. can work to bring Israelis and Palestinians together, then the administration should be doing the same thing to tear down the walls between Cuba and America. Well, it's time now for Rick Kwan to give us a preview of what's coming up tonight on Game Day. Rick.
Well, Barbara, we have another great show coming up for you tonight. At the Masters in Augusta, it was VJ Day as Vijay Singh came away with his first green jacket. We'll also show you what happened to David Duval and Tiger Woods. The Sharks close out their regular season tonight. They next play St. Louis in the playoffs starting Wednesday. We'll talk to team captain Owen Nolan about San Jose's chances. A's Mighty Mite Frank Menachino will join us in the studio to talk about today's A's victory. He'll talk about getting his chance in the majors and why his teammates say he should be in the Sopranos. On Tuesday, the Giants will not just play their home opener at Packville Park. They'll unveil a really big attraction, meet Rusty the Mechanical Marvel. We'll also show you how the Giants did today, and guess what? The Warriors actually won tonight. That's all coming up on Game Day. I'll see you right after the newscast.
No April Fool, huh?
Nope.
Thanks a lot, Rick. Coming up, from shorts to snuggly parkas as the Northwest goes into a deep freeze in less than a day.
Hi, I'm Lawrence Karnow. A little sunshine around the Bay Area. Temperatures warmed up a little bit,
but cool outside right now. And, boy, snow coming down elsewhere. The forecast is coming up.
Hi, it's Adina. I know we've been together a long time, but I don't want to see you again. It's not you, it's me. I've changed. I guess what I'm trying to say is, I just don't need you anymore. Okay, take care. Bye.
CareerMosaic.com.
Hi, Daddy.
Is that beautiful?
You're so handsome.
He is beautiful. Who should we send it to first?
Oh, Michael and Claire.
800 megahertz computer.
Oh.
They're going to love him. Bye-bye.
Oh, Michael.
Yeah.
We have an email from Amy and Roger.
Oh,
I bet it's a picture of their baby.
MSN
All
Internet
right.
access.
What a cute little baby, don't you think? Michael.
And a digital camera for exceptionally vivid images.
Turn on the fun, Best Buy.
Weather where you live, sponsored by Mancini's Sleep World. Don't miss Mancini's Best Buy's mattress sale going on now. Call 1-800-64-SLEEP.
We go online right now to Lafayette Elementary School in San Francisco. Mostly clear skies. Temperature right now, 49 degrees. The forecast is coming up.
Fellas, my parents were hippies. My real name's Rainbow. Now that's bold.
Nothing brings out the bold like Bullseye. Bold taste, great barbecue. Bullseye.
There's no better carpet than Lee's for Living with unconditional stain protection for 25 years.
Coffee, mustard, grease, even pet stains. They're all covered.
Lee's for Living carpet made of premium DuPont fibers. DuPont Stainmaster carpet, the standard for stain and soil resistance, starting at only $1.99 a square foot during the Lee Spring Home Sale at Carpet One. Buy now with no interest and no payments for 1 year during the Lee Spring Home Sale. Call 1-888-CARPET-1.
When it comes to flooring, nobody does it better than the Bay Area Carpet One stores.
Keys are in it.
The Accord V6 Coupe from Honda. It's one powerful car.
Ah, springtime in New York. The Big Apple got a white dusting today from an unusually late April storm that provided snow as far south as the nation's capital. It also knocked out power to as many as 15,000 homes in eastern New York State, which got more than a foot of snow. This is the same system that socked the Midwest late last week. And is it the same system that's making us so cold? I mean, it's
No, but it is a bit cold, yeah, around the Bay Area tonight. Skies are mostly clear, and so those temperatures really dropping off for you tonight. Well, today we had some sunshine out there, and yeah, still a little bit cool around the Bay Area. Temperatures running at or just below normal. Beautiful shot of the Golden Gate there. And yes, it was a rough day out on the bay. Some folks managed to get out there and do some sailing. A little competition out there, and the winds were blowing pretty well, filling up those sails all right. And, well, tonight, the winds have since subsided, and a nice shot of the ferry building and the Bay Bridge in the background there. And the clouds, well, they just haven't reformed yet, but they will likely start to reform in the next few hours. All right, temperatures for today. We had a high of only 58 degrees today in Pacifica, 60 degrees in San Francisco. You head inland, turned out to be pretty nice. 70 degrees in Vallejo and 69 degrees in Concord. But there was some patchy fog we had to get through this morning, and it extended inland all the way into the Delta. You can see it down in the Monterey Bay and into the Salinas Valley. But as we take you through the morning, didn't take very long, and it started to pull back. And by the afternoon, really had mostly clear skies, even along the coastline for today. And again, we had those onshore breezes, so that kept those temperatures cool. All right, you've seen the snow, and, well, we are going to see more of that in the United States for tomorrow. Most of that located across the upper plains here. They're going to see some more snow showers. Some of that could be very heavy in parts of North Dakota and sliding into parts of Minnesota. Out ahead of it, you've got this cold front, and some powerful thunderstorms will develop by the afternoon. Warm temperatures should return to the deep south, while out west, we are still looking at some mostly sunny skies coming your way, and probably the wind's going to subside, so that's some good news for temperatures. Should be able to warm things up. All right, here's your one storm system that rolled to the east of us today, and as high pressure started to slide in, the difference between the two brought us the winds. Now we've got this next system to contend with, but the good news is This ridge out ahead of it will hold it at bay for at least a couple of days. And the jet stream right now staying focused north of the Bay Area, so nothing going to come our way except for a couple of high clouds possibly late on Wednesday, and of course your general morning low clouds early on. After that, though, oh boy, things could get busy a bit on Thursday as that storm begins to make its way onshore. Let's check out your Bay Vision forecast into tomorrow morning, and a couple of patches of fog near the coastline. Temperatures going to be a bit chilly overnight, 40s and 50s by 8 o'clock in the morning. But as we take you through the morning, lots of yellow showing up. Those temperatures into the 60s by noontime, even some 70s starting to creep into the East Bay. And as we take you into the afternoon, going to warm you up even a little bit further, except right along the immediate coastline, 50s and 60s for highs there. Well, I see pleasant 70s inland. All right, temperatures around the Bay Area, going to be a nice one. Winds probably not quite as strong tomorrow afternoon, so expect about 76 degrees in Livermore, about 75 in Concord, 64 a bit cooler in San Francisco, and 70 degrees in Redwood City. Your 5-day forecast coming your way. Going to see a lot of sunshine to start you out at the beginning of this week, and going to be pretty nice. The Wednesday is when we're going to see some changes. That's when we're going to see some high clouds begin to make their way into our area. And by Thursday, looks like we could be looking at showers. That's still real iffy, but that could last straight into the weekend.
Showers?
Sorry about that, Barbara. More April showers. This can be
Boy,
cold
that hot weather a couple of weeks ago was just a tease, huh?
Long gone. Long distance
Okay.
memory.
Thanks a lot, Lauren.
All right.
Coming up, Iraqi prisoners of war held for more than a decade are finally set free. And the new power of vitamin C, especially for women and their gallbladders.
Now there's a more convenient choice for news in the Bay Area, and it's only on Channel 5. The only national news starting at 6, the CBS Evening News. The only local news starting at 6:30, Channel 5 Eyewitness News. A better schedule that fits your lifestyle.
That's Dan Rather at 6.
With the CBS Evening News. Then Hank Plant and Dana King with Channel 5 Eyewitness News at 6:30.
Weeknights only on Channel 5.
IKEA Home Furnishings is coming to the Bay Area, and we're bringing something for everyone. Open April 12th in Emeryville.
Look at that. Staples has overnight delivery.
Oh, let me see.
Wow, you're right.
Hey, look. Guaranteed low prices. Slow down. Staples delivers.
And you can order online.
This traffic's terrible.
Yep. It's like this every single day.
That's really weird.
Need office products delivered overnight? Yeah, we got that. Call 1-800-STAPLES.
Get up to $2,000 cash back on a new Kia Sportage.
Unprecedented news out of Korea tonight, where it has been announced that the leaders of North and South Korea will hold a summit. The meeting could be the biggest step toward a lasting peace on the Korean peninsula. Leaders of the two republics are expected to meet in the North's capital in June. It would be the first summit between the rival states since the division of the peninsula into Communist North and Capitalist South in 1945. Hundreds of Iraqi prisoners of war were reunited with their families today after being released by Iran. It was an emotional scene as thousands of relatives welcomed the 500 men who had been held for more than 10 years. The continued detention of prisoners of war remains the main obstacle to better relations between Iran and Iraq. Both countries captured tens of thousands of prisoners during the war they fought between 1980 and 1988. This 81-year-old woman is one of some 14 million who are expected to vote in Peru's closely fought presidential election today. Incumbent President Alberto Mori voted this morning. His leading rival, Alejandro Toledo, charges the vote may be rigged with the help of the military. Early exit polls show Toledo ahead of Fujimori, but all indications are that a runoff is likely. The Organization of American States has sent in observers in an attempt to prevent election fraud. A new study finds you might want to add an orange to your daily intake of fruit, especially if you're a woman. The study appearing in tomorrow's Archives of Internal Medicine supports theories that vitamin C can protect against gallbladder disease. Other studies have found similar associations, and research has shown that vitamin C deficient guinea pigs frequently develop gallstones. Of the estimated 19 million Americans with gallbladder disease, 2/3 are women. Up next, the festivities of the Cherry Blossom Festival continue.
Miracle-Gro asked me to raise a whole new kind of plant, new Miracle-Gro Select. The only rule, nothing but the best. So we don't jam them into little pots. We let them breathe. We use Miracle-Gro plant food so they can grow stronger roots. We let them stay in the greenhouse longer and get more of the things they need. And then we select only the largest and strongest plants. It's simple. Start with the best, end up with the best. New Miracle-Gro Select plants. Big, beautiful plants, guaranteed.
It's me, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, straight from the streets. Who from the streets?
Me, 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 me. Me, 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 me.
SonicNet.com. Me. And I'm the guru, bald head slick. You know what I'm saying? Ill kid, that's me. SonicNet.com, remain calm.
Me, 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 me.
Me, 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 me.
Me.
SonicNet.com. Your personal music site from the MTVI group.
The firm loves you.
Nobody can beat our offer.
Stanley, please. Just yesterday, a startup in Frisco made a mockery of your signing bonus. A firm in New York laid the smackdown on your 401k, and a righteous place in Chicago made your starting salary look like cab fare.
You know what? I don't like you, but I'll give you what you want.
Cool.
Play your hand at hotjobs.com. All the best jobs and the tools to find them at Hot Jobs, the hottest hand on the web.
Combat Rangers. They're rough, they're tough, they're battle-tested. They're lean, mean fighting machines. When there's a battle to be won, Combat Rangers get the job done. Making backyards safe for democracy.
Now, tell me why they're wearing dresses.
The commando uniforms didn't arrive from China. That's because you picked the wrong shipping company.
Next time, use the only U.S. Express shipper with direct routes from China. FedEx. Be absolutely sure.
Matching night vision tiara sold separately.
I have a dream. I walk out onto the high dive platform at the Olympics and make the perfect back 2.5 twister. Will my Olympic dream come true? Nah, I'm a pole vaulter.
There'll still be some limits to the dreams of Olympic athletes, but none for Olympic Games spectators. With Visa, the only card accepted at the Sydney Olympic Games.
I can't even swim.
Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
For more information on becoming a friend of the elderly, call 415-771-7957.
Some gum lovers were trying to blow their competition out of the water in South Dakota today. It was a bubble-blowing contest for kids to raise money for the Children's Miracle Network. Each child got 3 pieces of bubble gum and 3 chances to blow the biggest bubble. The bubbles were measured by a bubble meter, of course. The winner gets a pop at the national finals and a $10,000 savings bond. And finally tonight, a different treat for the senses. Traditional Japanese drummers provided much of the entertainment at Day 2 of the annual Cherry Blossom Festival today in San Francisco's Japantown. The celebration featured musicians, martial arts demonstrations, and plenty of cherry blossoms. The festival coincides with the beginning of spring. And that's it for this edition of Eyewitness News. Stay tuned for Game Day coming up next, and have a great week ahead. We'll see you again next weekend. Good night.
Good night.